All right, so today we're gonna be skipping some stones. Every guy likes to skip some stones, right? If you're a guy out there and you don't know how to skip a stone, you need to learn, because it's a quality that men should know, boys should know. I mean, if you're 12 years old and you don't know how to skip a stone, I mean, let's get on it. This video's for you. So I'm out here, Little Traverse Bay in Petoskey, Michigan. We're on the, I don't know, it's like the east side of the breakwall, something like that. We're on the calm side of the water. It's a good spot to skip because you've got no waves, no wake. It's kind of flat, but the pebbly beach we're on, there's not a bunch of great stones. There's some that are skippable. We're going to try and find some that are really good skipper stones, but we're also going to try to find one that's just so, like this one right here, that looks really flat. It's small, but see, like this one too. We're going to try and find one rock that is super, like you just look at it and you're like, that's not going to skip, and we're going to try to make it skip. Because when I go to skip stones, I like to find ones that are really good skippers, but I also like to find one that's just absurdly fat and you're like, that'll never skip. Let's see if we can get skip ones. I'm not seeing any good ones. We might have to go over to, there's a beach over here on the other side of the break wall with a lot more pebbles, a lot more stones. We could probably find some better ones over there. I've really only got one over here. I mean, some of them are kind of flat, but maybe all the good ones have been gotten already. Let's see. A couple, wasn't great though. I probably need to work on my own skipping techniques before I get on here and try to make a video about telling you guys how to do it. That one there's kind of, I mean, it's fat. It was laying like that, it looks pretty good. Get back here where it looks like people, that's a really good one. Get back here where some people haven't quite gotten to them yet. A little further away from the water. And it's gonna look a lot more like this over on that other side, just larger pockets. That one right there. You can see over here, I mean, it's a whole beach of them. We should be able to find some really good ones. It's big. You want them to be big. You want them to be kind of heavy, because the heavier they are, the more momentum they're going to carry, and they'll just skip further, and they'll be less thrown off their trajectory by little splashes and waves. They're heavier like that. They can just pound through some of those small little waves and wakes and keep going. But of course, the larger they are, the harder they are to get a good grip on them, harder to throw them. So there's a happy medium. Here's another pretty flat one. It's kind of odd shaped, but we'll make it work. Here's a good one. Let's find a couple more good ones, and then we'll find an absurd looking one, and we'll make it skip. That's a good one. Right there. Nice and round. That one's nice, almost circular. sometimes you'll find rocks. Sometimes you'll find rocks that are kind of like this, where they're flat. This one's not so flat, but I feel like you see them all the time, especially like riverbeds. They'll be real thin. They'll be real thin. Actually, that's a pretty good one. But they'll be kind of oblong shaped like this, like pill shaped. And you'd think, well, they're flat, they'll skip really good. They actually won't, because they'll kind of helicopter through the air, and you just don't get a good consistent, I mean, this probably goes without saying, but the more circular they are, the better they're going to skip. Okay, we got quite a few. Now let's find a dud of a rock, one that you'd think would never skip, and we'll get it to skip. Like this guy right here. I mean, it's not flat, he's heavy. He's got this big bulge in the middle. I don't know how well you guys can see that. But I bet we could get him to skip once or twice. I mean, you'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how little of a flat surface on a rock, and you can make it skip off of that. Come back over here to our little flat bay area. That side of the break wall, kind of rough. This side of the break wall, pretty calm. You can actually see it if I get up here on a rock, the difference between the two sides. You just got the wind, coming across that way. So it stirs up the water, and then over here where the break wall is, keeps it pretty calm. Here's that dud rock. Let's set some of these down here. Okay. All right, so when I'm skipping a stone, you want to be low. You want to be as low as you can. Okay, you don't want to be standing up on a rock ledge like over there 10 feet above the water. You want to be ground level with the surface at the top of the water. And when you throw it, this is how I hold it. I'm putting my index finger on a corner, something I can grip real well, something that when it releases out of my hand, I can get some good spin on it. I'm gonna hold it underneath with my middle finger and the tip of my ring finger and pinch it with my thumb. Okay, and when I throw it, I'm gonna let it roll off the tip of that index finger. See that? Index finger, middle finger underneath, tip of my ring finger underneath, and then my thumb. And I'm gonna let it roll off the tip of my index finger when I throw that. Now this is kind of hard to explain, but when you throw the rock, you don't want it to beeline straight at the water. You want it to have a little bit of an arc. When it hits the water, if my hand is the surface of the water here, I don't want it to hit like this. I want it to kind of fall. I want it to go straight out and then arc and have some fall onto it. And when you get it to hit the water like this, you get it to kind of come down at an angle like a plane's landing. That's when you're going to get that best skip action. If you come in directly like this, if you just spike it into the water, it's going to dive right under the surface of the water. When you have it come down like this, it's when it's going to bounce off that water. Okay, enough talking, let's skip some rocks. See, that one had some good skips. It didn't go very far, but it had several skips. That's the other thing, is the further you throw that rock out away from you, the more that this rock's gonna have a chance to curve left or right, because it's not aerodynamic, right? It's after 15, 20 feet, it's gonna start to dip one way or another, and then it's gonna hit the water at a slant. And you don't want that. You want that rock to hit nice and flat. Too close to you, and you're not gonna get to fall like this. You're gonna be spiking it. See, that one started to curve just a little bit before I got to sit down. That one hit too soon, jumped up in the air way high. Let's grab a few more here. See, that one hit too soon. That was a really good one. That one was really good. That one looked like it was going to go good. It bounced too high on that first skip. That one went far. You bounce too high on that first skip and it's going to go airborne. It's not going to come down right on the second skip. It's going to mess you up for the rest of them. Dang, okay. Sweet, last one. Pretty good. All right, now it's time for the dud. I think the plan of attack here is I'm gonna put this side on the bottom. Oh, look at that, it looks like a little anchor. Looks like an anchor engraved on that rock. I'm gonna put this flat side down. I'm gonna try and skip it off of that. Let's see if we can get one or two. Nope. Let's try one more here. That one's that one right there, same deal. Doesn't look like it'd skip, but it's got a flat side here, so we'll make it. Nope. Let's try this one. That one's got potential. I mean, we could just get one skip out of one of these, I'd be satisfied. Look at that. There it is. That's how you skip a bulbous rock. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. That's how you skip a rock. Hopefully you learned something from that. You ever looking for some good skipping rocks, come to Petoskey, Michigan, Little Traverse Bay. A lot of great pebble beaches around here. You can find you some good flat stones. And come to this side of the break wall and you have some good flat water. Thanks for watching. Bye.